Welcome to Rovers FC TV. I'm Jake Burford, and today I have Madison, Heeley and Avery Ward with me. How you doing, ladies?
Good.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So basically, we're just going to talk a little bit about football, and then just to get to know you girls a little bit more. Okay. So your first season with the Rovers, how are you finding it?
I'm really liking it here. Like, I love the entire team, and the whole season's just been overall a really good experience. So I really like it. Yeah.
Excellent, that's great. And then Avery, so you've been with the Rovers now, this is your second season, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. So your first season you played with the reserves, and now you've transitioned into the to the first team.
Yes.
Yeah, how's that been?
It's been great, honestly. I think it's been a pretty good transition. A lot of different components, definitely moving up to the first team and like having to adjust, but I think it's been going pretty well this year, yeah.
Perfect. And that's great to see, you know, that you've played in the reserves and it's giving you that platform to showcase your abilities and then move up to the first team and then play for both teams as well. How's that been?
It's been great. I think that, it's very seamless this year for sure between the reserve and the first team. Like Dave and Will have done a great job of keeping us very cohesive together. And I think that it's definitely been a big step for a bit. I thought that it would be like this for sure, but it's been good. It's been really good.
That's brilliant. And then, so for yourself, Madison, so this is your first season, playing in the reserves and so forth. So, you know, with that, with the Rovers as a whole in general kind of thing, do you play or train together? Is it you train once a week, twice a week? How does it work?
So with our reserve team, we train once a week with the League One team as well, which is great because it gets me kind of familiar and getting to know the other girls as well, so that if there is an opportunity to be called up, it's more of a seamless transition into that. And then also we as reserve teams usually practice 2 other nights a week depending on game nights as well. Our game nights do tend to change. We usually have 1 game a week. So we kind of organize our practices that way to fit with our game schedule as well. So.
That's brilliant. So how competitive is it kind of thing? What's the difference from, you know, when you're training with the reserves and then you're training with the first team? Is there a difference, you know, one mentally and then the demands and stuff in the sessions?
Well, a little bit mentally as well. Again, with the League One, I'm training with the goalies that are playing with League One, so they are quite a bit older than me and they have a little bit more experience. So it is a bit of a mental game, but I also enjoy it because I get to learn off of them and build off of how they've been playing as well. And I also get the goalie training that I get with Jerry, with our goalkeeper coach, at those League One training sessions as well. And then when it comes to reserve sessions, I'm more so with my reserve team, building with them, and then so it's a bit of a mental thing, but I enjoy training with both teams, and it's definitely personal building when I'm with the League One team as well. So I just I enjoy learning off of the other players and stuff, especially with more experience from their side. So
oh, amazing. So Avery, you've been playing for both, so you've been in the reserves and then you've been in the first team. Is there a difference in playing style with the reserves and the first team and the coaching styles, or is it mirrored the same? So you've got the same playing style for the reserve, so when you do make that transition, it's nice and easy going into that philosophy. Is it the same kind of playing style and coaching style? Yeah,
I honestly, this year it has been a lot of the same. I think that both coaches are doing a very good job of keeping it the same, and using a lot of the same terminology and stuff is something that they've been really trying to focus on, I think. So you hear the same things coming from both coaches, you know exactly what those things mean and what is expected of you when something is said on the field. So I think that it's definitely it's been an easy transition for sure. Nothing has been too challenging when it comes to that. It's been pretty seamless.
And that's fantastic. I think that's what you kind of want, is when you are playing with the reserves and you do have to make that step to go to the first team, that the philosophy is the same, you know, the playing style is the same, because then that transition is nice and easy. So you kind of touched on it. Was it a little bit different than last season, because you were with the Rovers as well in the reserves? Was it a different kind of playing style there last season to how it is this season?
I think that like vibe, I guess, is a little bit different this year. It's definitely a lot more about like it's hard working and like it's intense this year. Last year it was still intense, but it's just kind of a different atmosphere. This year it's very like hard working. We like put everything into practices, whether it's the reserve or the first team. Everybody's here to like put the work in and get it done. And do you think that's down to the coach then, to the coaches, you know, demanding that high intensity in the training sessions? Yeah, I think that definitely something has flipped, and the coaches are definitely demanding a lot more of us. And I think that it's been really good this year to like see how things are changing and like developing. And with Dave coming in, I think it's been a really great change to have him in there like working with us. He's been doing a great job this year of like developing, especially like for me anyway. I feel like I've developed a lot with him as a coach. So it's been a good change.
Amazing. So I kind of just want to touch on, you know, your positions that you play. All right. So Madison, you're a goalkeeper.
Yes.
Amazing. Have you always played that position?
No. I actually played forward for a while, especially when I was young. I started playing soccer when I was 4, and it was kind of like, it wasn't really set on positions quite yet, that young, so you're just kind of starting to get out and learn the like ways of soccer, I guess. So as soon as I hit around 9, 10 years old, it was like, oh, like who wants to volunteer to be goalie? And it was always me. I always wanted to be the one to step up and be the goalkeeper in the game. And it was just something thrilling about being fearless, like with the ball and everything. And it was just like, I really enjoyed it. So once I got to like 10 years old, I decided to like switch over to a rep team in Aurora. I played for Aurora FC for a while. And then I started actually like doing proper goalie training and everything. And then just from there, I just became a full-time goalie from there. So, That's
amazing. Love that. And then Avery, yourself?
So right now I'm a center back, and that's where I think I'll be for probably the rest of my career. But I've only been playing center back for about a year. But I've been kind of all over the place in positioning. So I started playing when I was 3, and I guess the first kind of position that I can remember being like set at was I was a defender. But then I've kind of moved all over the place. And like last year, going into my first university season, I was a forward. And so then, it's pretty crazy, but things changed, and I think Coach Will saw something in me that he knew that I would make a good center back. So I was back there last summer playing for the reserves for Simcoe, and from there on I've just been very focused on becoming a better center back.
Because that's a big transition, right? You know, going from a centre forward and then, you know, midfield, then into even just a centre back. The transition there is madness. But like you said, coach must see some characteristics where he thinks, you know, you would be better suited playing at the back. And I always find that centre backs are leaders on the field. Are you a leader on the field? Are you that type of player? You communicate well and so forth?
I definitely try my best. I think that the past little while I've been definitely focusing on trying to be more vocal out of the back. I think it's very important, like when you're a center back, to be as vocal as you can, because you can see the whole field. So I try my best to like take a leadership position out there and like make sure that everyone can hear me and that I know they can trust me back there.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I kind of just want to touch a little bit with the reserves and the first team as well. What are the goals for the season? You know, so for the reserves and then for the first team as well, do you have goals set by the teams? And then as well personally, have you set yourself goals that you want to achieve this season?
That's a good question.
Hey, I'm not playing around there. Yeah, it's good questions here.
I know for the first team, the goal was obviously to make playoffs again. Because last year, the first year, like in the league, they made a run in playoffs, and it was a great first year. So this year, it was very focused on, can we do that again, or is it just a one-time thing? And obviously, we're close now. Like we're getting there. So that was a main focus this year for sure for the first team.
Is to make the playoffs and then build from there and go and try and challenge for the title.
Show people that it's not just a one-time thing. Like Simcoe is here, we're a good team. We know what we're doing, you know what I mean? Especially under a new coaching staff. people wanted to, like, we wanted to show that it's not just a fluke.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then what about personally? Do you have any goals for yourself for the season, Madison?
That's a really hard question to answer, honestly. I feel like there's always like a goal to set for yourself. I feel like there's always a personal goal to set. I've just really wanted to like make a name for myself with the team. It is my first year, so I definitely wanted to like bond well with this team, and I have definitely. And then I just definitely wanted to be successful as a goalie. Like obviously my goals can be slightly different from like a player perspective. So like definitely like just succeeding with like wins and like shutouts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like going on with like how do I explain it? It's hard to like get the words out, but
I completely know what you mean and stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. And then Avery, what about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Like, definitely, I'm more of a baby center back right now. Obviously, only playing for a year, but I kind of just wanted to be able to develop myself. You know, like get more experience and stuff. I think playing alongside Abby Rowe has been really good for me because she's obviously very experienced. Like, she has a name for herself within like the OUA and the League One scene.
Yeah.
So I think playing alongside her has really helped me like achieve my goal of getting more experience and being more comfortable in this position.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's
that's
fantastic.
another thing, like building off the players from League One, especially, and like the girls that have a little more experience, like building off of their just kind of style of play, especially like Michaela Vlop, like she played at Nipissing, which is where I am at the moment.
Okay.
So we have a very similar like style of play, I would say. So definitely like playing with her and training with her has definitely like developed myself personally, and then also just like training towards like my university goals and all of that. And so it's definitely that aspect of like just training with the other girls and learning from them and then developing farther as a player.
That's brilliant.
That. Yeah.
And then just a quick question just before we do go to a short break. What made you get into the game? What made you want to play football?
Well, okay, so my grandfather was a goalkeeper. He just played within Canada and stuff like that. So he would kind of motivate me and train, especially my dad as well. Like my family's just very sports oriented. And I think just like my parents were just like, because soccer kind of ran in the family, they wanted me to try it out. And as soon as I just got on that pitch from a young age, I just knew that I would enjoy it. Yeah. And I've gotten this far. It definitely pushed me like from a family aspect. So like having it run in the family, that definitely motivated me to continue. And it just really showed my love for the game for sure.
That's brilliant. I love it. And then Avery, yourself?
Yeah, for me, it was my sister played before me. So like obviously playing from a young age, I watched her when I couldn't join yet, like when I couldn't play yet. And my parents always tell the story of how she had a uniform. And so since my sister had a uniform, I needed a uniform. So I made them go out and buy me a uniform. So I think it's always been a whatever she can do, I wanted to be able to do it better. So I think that's kind of where it came from. And then I just loved the game as soon as I started playing. So I just never stopped.
That's amazing. I love it. All right, so we're just going to shoot to a short break. We'll see you guys in a few. Welcome back to Rovers FC TV. I am here with Madison, Heeley and Avery Ward. All right, ladies, so I kind of just wanted to touch a little bit on your university football. Okay, so you're both at university. Madison, you're at Nipissing, and then Avery, you're at Windsor.
Yes.
Okay, what are you both studying?
I'm studying like a physical education course, so I'm kind of looking more so, there's kind of two aspects of it. So I'm looking more so towards the kinesiology side of it, hoping to get into like physiotherapy, athletic therapy afterwards. And then there's also another side of it more so like con ed teaching kind of like aspect of it as well. So there's two sides, but I'm definitely leaning more towards a kinesiology route, but it's physical education. So.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And Avery?
I'm in sport management, so kind of like it's the human kinetics, but the more business side of it. Yeah, and I have no idea what I want to do when I'm done.
Oh, that's brilliant. So you're both playing university football. So how is that with the university football compared to the Rovers? You know, does your team kind of play the same style of football, or do they have different philosophies how they want to play? I'll start with you, Avery.
I would say that it feels a little different. I don't exactly know what part of it is different. I think sometimes like the pace of this like Simcoe team is unmatched, honestly. Like our midfield, especially the way that we move the ball around is it's hard to match anywhere, I think. But yeah, I think it's a little bit different than Windsor for sure. And it was an adjustment, but it's nothing crazy. Like it's not anything like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Madison?
I feel a little bit opposite. I feel like it was a bit of an easier transition for me. I feel like the style of play at the Rovers is very similar to my Nipissing team, which was kind of familiar, which I enjoyed and stuff. And the way they have me training and playing in the game is the way that I think Nipissing is looking for me to play as well. So that is a good aspect as well for like player development and stuff. But I feel like the style of play is very similar. So it was definitely an easier transition for me. Yeah, for
that's
sure.
Brilliant. So. With a style play, what's the standard like? So the standard of unit ball compared to, you know, playing for the reserves and for the first team for the Rovers.
I think that it's sometimes it's just a different world because at university, obviously you have your schoolwork and stuff that you have to focus on. You have to be very like good at time management. You have to, so many different components go into like soccer. It's not just focusing on soccer. So I think the standards are a little bit different, obviously still very intense, whereas here in the summer you can focus on soccer a lot more. So you have a lot more time and recovery time and stuff like that adds into your performance, so you know that you can get your best performance in the summer, whereas during the school year there's so many other things that go into it that the standards are definitely a little bit different.
Yeah, but it's still like a fairly high intensity, both like 100%, university and summer soccer with the Rovers, definitely. But I think a lot of our players are like preparing themselves for that university season here. So the intensity here is really, really good at preparing us for the fall seasons. But yeah, I feel like the intensity way at school is still very similar. So yeah, the standards are quite similar, I would say. But yeah.
That's brilliant. So Avery, I kind of just wanted to touch on, you kind of spoke about it a little bit. You live quite a little bit out of town.
I do, yeah. So for our games and stuff here, I'm about an hour and 15 minutes away. And then a lot of the time we practice in Aurora as well, so that's about 2 hours for me.
So that's fantastic, you know, because I mean, you've got the love of the game, the commitment for traveling, you know, for the training sessions, for the game, for the reserves, for the first team. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is sometimes, for sure.
How'd you fit it all in?
Oh, sometimes I don't even know, honestly. I feel like I'm always in the car a lot of the time, but you just do what you have to do. I love to play, so this is the closest team for me at this level, and obviously I want to be at the highest level that I can be at, so it's just a commitment that I've been making for a long time, and just got to do what you got to do.
That's amazing. Okay, so recently we had a double header at JC Massey Field where we had the Rovers taking on Unionville and they were also taking on Vaughan. We are going to cut to a few highlights to show you what a fantastic weekend it was.
Here, folks.
We all have the capacity to like compete, like each one of us on the team. I think it builds like one of our team values is just like work hard and compete. So when we noticed in our games that like we may have not been competing as hard as we could have, whether that's going into tackles hard, we definitely did reevaluate and start doing that in practices so that we could start our games like that. And then even like the first 5 minutes, like we want to set the tone and know that we're here and we're going to win the tackle. So that's like what we've been trying to do. We just knew coming into it that we had to put everything on the line to get the goal and just win the game to get the 3 points.
this will be a red card.
It has to be a red. A yellow.
I'm surprised. The last man, the keeper there.
Urging the ref to blow that whistle. And that is it, folks. Wow, wow, wee wow. 3-2 Rovers. What an amazing game.
It was a great game. You know, the team sacrificed well, and we got the 3 points.
Let's talk about your goal for a second. I mean, obviously you're ready to get in there and make that goal, but we noticed, and I noticed, you didn't celebrate. Why is that?
Bond that I played last year, when I come here, was the first team to give me a hand. That's why I come here. Now I can celebrate against them, you know. If they give me a hand, I can do it. Right?
Let's go, Rovers! Let's go! All right, man. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
And what a fantastic weekend it was at JC Massey Field there. And a big shout out to Fernando from Kicking Cleats for the fantastic interviews. So, ladies, I just wanted to touch about that weekend there, the 1-0 victory against Unionville. Looking at the highlights, it looked like it could have been 6 or 7.
For sure.
100%, yeah, it definitely did. I was expecting it to kind of like have an outcome like toward kind of going towards that way, but yeah, I was pretty surprised when it was a 1-0 win for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't for lack of chances, that's for sure. I think we had a lot of shots on goal. We just couldn't put them away, but we did once.
Yeah.
So thank God for that.
That's what counts. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, it was just one-way traffic the whole game kind of thing, and I was there on the sidelines, and I was thinking, when is this goal going to come? Because it can sometimes come back to haunt you and go from there. So it was fantastic. The Rovers picked up the 3 points and kept that playoff hope alive, right?
Yeah.
So we spoke a lot about football. What I want to do is kind of just get to know you both a little bit personally, and so do the fans out there as well. So I always start off with, always a big question, favourite flavour of chicken wings? Madison.
It's gotta be honey garlic. It has to be.
No.
What's the problem with honey garlic wings?
Everyone says honey garlic. It's not even
it's the best.
Oh, it's not.
It's the best.
It's not.
I
Avery.
would agree. It's
Are you both honey
for
garlic?
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my word. It's like everyone, it seems, on the Rovers absolutely loves honey
It's a
garlic.
Rovers
We
thing.
should all go out
yeah.
for honey garlic wings. I
That's
think.
it. I think at the end of the season, it's just going to be platters with honey garlic wings, right? Oh my word. And what about favourite flavour of pizza? Do you have one?
Oh, I love Hawaiian. The pineapple on pizza is my absolute favorite. I am a Hawaiian girl.
Yeah.
I'm a classic cheese.
Cheese.
Yeah. I like to keep it plain
Very
and simple.
plain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't go wrong.
No. you
Can't go wrong. I love cheese. You
You
know?
gave me a look when I said pineapple.
Yeah, I can't say I think pineapple belongs
It's
on
not for
pizza.
everyone.
Oh, see,
It's-
that's a question,
It's
right?
not for everyone. It's not
See,
for
this
everyone.
got brought up the other week kind of thing, and I was asked if I do. I'm like, I don't think it does, but I'm still going to eat it if, if
Oh,
it's
okay.
there, right? You
Okay,
know,
yeah.
I'm not too picky, you know. And do you have a favourite movie?
Oh my gosh.
It might be a stereotypical like soccer answer, but She's the Man.
Great movie.
Great
so
movie.
good.
Love
So
that
good.
movie. That was fantastic. And I am just going to ask you one last question before we do wrap up the show. Are you dog or are you cat?
I'm a cat person.
You're a cat
Yes,
person.
Yes.
I'm a dog person.
And you're a dog
all the way,
person.
For sure.
I love dogs, but
Yeah.
I love cats.
Do you have a cat?
I do, yes, yes.
And the name?
His name is Nacho because he has a chip in his ear. So we call him
okay,
Nacho.
so
Yeah.
does my cat.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
so much in common.
And do you have a dog?
I
or-
do, yeah. His name's Chester. He's 17.
17.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. What kind of dog?
Shipu.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Ladies, I want to say it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and I wish you both the best for the season and your future in football.
Thank you.
So that's all we've got time for tonight's show. You can find more information at www.roversfc.ca, where you'll find information about fixtures, the men's and female teams, and so forth. I'm Jake Burford. Have a great evening.